Welcome to Week Topic, where we break down the most critical topics in health, science, and technology. Today, we're diving into the topic of monkeypox, a disease that has been making headlines recently. We'll cover everything from how monkeypox is transmitted, its symptoms, treatment options, and even the latest data on the outbreak. So let's get started. Transmission and cause. First, let's talk about how monkeypox is transmitted. Monkeypox is a zoonotic disease, which means it's transmitted from animals to humans. The primary route of transmission is through direct contact with blood, bodily fluids, or skin lesions of infected animals. This often happens in areas where people come into contact with wild animals, like rodents or primates, which are natural hosts of the virus. But that's not all. Monkeypox can also spread from person to person. This happens through respiratory droplets, much like COVID-19, though the virus isn't as easily spread this way. Close contact with an infected person's lesions, body fluids, or even contaminated materials like bedding can also lead to transmission. So what causes monkeypox? The disease is caused by the monkeypox virus, which is part of the orthopox virus genus. This is the same family of viruses that include smallpox, though monkeypox is less contagious and generally less severe. Symptoms and duration. Now that we understand how monkeypox spreads, let's talk about what it looks like. The symptoms of monkeypox usually start with general flu-like signs. This includes fever, headache, muscle aches, and fatigue. These are early warning signs that something is wrong, but they're not unique to monkeypox. What really sets monkeypox apart is the rash. This rash usually appears 1 to 3 days after the fever starts. It begins as flat red spots called macules, which then turn into raised bumps known as papules. From there, these papules develop into fluid-filled blisters, or vesicles, and eventually they become pustules. The rash is usually concentrated on the face, hands, and feet, including the palms and soles, but it can also spread to other parts of the body. Is monkeypox itchy? Yes, the rash can be quite itchy, especially as the pustules start to dry up and form scabs. But the itchiness is only part of the story. These lesions can be painful as well. The pain is often described as deep and throbbing, especially when the rash is widespread. So how long does monkeypox last? The symptoms typically persist for 2 to 4 weeks. After the rash scabs over and falls off, the person is no longer contagious. Recovery can be slow, and even after the symptoms subside, some people may experience lingering effects like scarring. Diagnosis and testing. So how do you know if you have monkeypox? Diagnosing monkeypox involves a physical examination of the rash and a detailed history of potential exposure. But the definitive way to diagnose monkeypox is through laboratory testing. The most common test is a PCR test, which is similar to the one used for COVID-19. A healthcare provider will take a sample from one of the skin lesions. This could be fluid from a vesicle or a swab from a dry crust. The sample is then sent to a lab where it's tested for the monkeypox virus. Early diagnosis is crucial because it helps in managing the disease better and prevents its spread. Treatment and prevention. Now let's talk about treatment and prevention. Unfortunately, there's no specific cure for monkeypox. Treatment mainly focuses on relieving symptoms and preventing complications. This might include pain relievers, fever reducers, and staying hydrated. In more severe cases, an antiviral medication called tecovirimat, which was originally developed for smallpox, may be used. However, access to this treatment can be limited. Prevention, on the other hand, is all about avoiding exposure. If you're in an area where monkeypox is known to spread, avoid contact with animals that could carry the virus, such as rodents and primates. If you're caring for someone who's infected, make sure to use protective equipment like gloves and masks, and avoid close contact with their lesions or bodily fluids. Vaccination and risk factors. Is there a vaccine for monkeypox? Yes, there is. The smallpox vaccine has been shown to be about 85% effective in preventing monkeypox. There are 2 vaccines currently available: Jynneos, also known as Imbamune or Imvanex, and ACIM 2000. Jynneos is the more modern option and is considered safer, especially for people with weakened immune systems. Who should get vaccinated? The vaccine is recommended for those who are at high risk, such as healthcare workers, laboratory personnel working with orthopox viruses, and people who have been in contact with confirmed monkeypox cases. So who is really at risk for monkeypox? The highest risk is among people who live in or near forested areas where the virus is endemic, like in certain parts of Africa. However, outbreaks have occurred in other regions as well, often linked to international travel or imported animals. Healthcare workers and those in close contact with infected individuals are also at higher risk. Mortality and current data. Finally, let's discuss the severity of monkeypox and the latest data. The death rate for monkeypox varies depending on the strain of the virus. The West African strain, which is the milder form, has a mortality rate of around 1%, while the Central African strain can have a mortality rate of up to 10%. The good news is that with proper medical care, the risk of death is significantly reduced. As for the latest data, the number of monkeypox cases has been rising in certain regions, which has prompted increased surveillance and vaccination efforts. Researchers are also studying the virus to better understand its transmission and how it might be evolving. Staying updated with credible sources like the World Health Organization and CDC is key to keeping informed. That wraps up today's episode on monkeypox. I hope you found this information helpful and that it gave you a clearer understanding of this disease. If you have any questions or want to learn more, feel free to reach out or check the resources mentioned in the show notes. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast with anyone who might benefit from it. Thanks for listening and stay safe.